Now, if Newcastle sell him, they can demand top dollar. They could realistically look for that £100 million valuation. And I don't think Anthony Gordon is worth that much money. This video is sponsored by Surfshark, the best VPN on the market. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to change your location to access websites in other countries and keep you safe and secure from hackers. Using Surfshark, we here in Ireland can access other countries' Netflix libraries or other streaming platforms like DAZN in Spain for all those important Premier League games. Surfshark keeps you safe and private by protecting everything you do online. Everything. When your device connects to the internet, all that information is, in a way, blurred out. Surfshark is particularly useful for keeping you safe from being hacked if you use public Wi-Fi. Let's say you're in a cafe, you're at college, you're out and about, they've got you covered. Surfshark allows you to use one subscription on unlimited devices, meaning you can share your account with friends or family or that neighbour who's a little bit cheap. On top of all of this, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can also upgrade to Surfshark One, which includes the VPN, an alert system for breaches related to your data, such as emails and credit cards, and an antivirus software for your desktop. Our sign-up offer gives you Surfshark VPN for a little over €2 a month. Simply scan the QR code on screen right now or use the link in the description and enter the code Anfield Agenda at checkout. So, the latest on Anthony Gordon is as follows. Right now, as I sit here, the PSR stuff is no longer a factor in the conversation. So we have to ask ourselves one of two things. Do we think that the interest remains? And do we think that Newcastle would sell? The answer to the first part of that, based off a lot of journalists' thoughts, are yes, the interest still is there. Would Anthony Gordon be open to the move? Yes. But the likelihood for me of it coming to fruition now, it's probably gone down quite a bit. Just my opinion. Because now, if Newcastle sell him, they can demand top dollar. They could realistically look for that £100 million valuation. And I don't think Anthony Gordon is worth that much money. I think this was a right time, right opportunity type of deal. That if it had have worked for Liverpool and Newcastle, it would have been a good strategic piece of business for a player that would more than likely improve the squad overall. But he wouldn't have been the top of my list of priorities. In fact, he would have been quite far down it because I think he still has some to prove. I can't deny though, the kid has something about him. He has that fight and determination, that strong Scouse mentality, trickery, and he's a likeable guy. But for me, I don't know if Liverpool are going to continue to kick this can down the road or going to act on it. What I will say is, and I feel very strongly about this, I like to try and put myself in the player's shoes. If I'm Anthony Gordon or his family or his agent or his mates, I know that I was willing to be sacrificed. I know that I can't be that important to the football club if they're willing after one season, a very productive season, to throw him under the bus and sell him. That is not going to go well. On top of that, and I'm taking this from other people because I don't know about this situation, but apparently the kid Anderson that just moved to Chelsea from Newcastle was Anthony Gordon's mate at the club, one of his really close mates that he got on really well with. That isn't going to help either because he's now moved on, so that's one more comrade not at the club for Anthony Gordon. So will Liverpool reevaluate? Potentially, but our hand, in my opinion, has now been weakened in those negotiations. So if I was to say to you right now, do I think Anthony Gordon comes to Liverpool? No. Up until the PSR stuff, yes, there was a good chance because it was opportunistic. I'm genuinely really surprised that Newcastle were offering him about. It's one thing maybe letting it be known that he's potentially available. But remember what actually happened here. According to many, many reliable journalists, they came a knocking on Liverpool's door, looking to one, sell Anthony Gordon, and two, bring in Jarell Quanza, which makes all kinds of sense for them because they need centre-backs and Quanza's a fine young centre-back. But we weren't willing to negotiate on that point. And it seems like that was the only sticking point that we've been made aware of, that Liverpool were just not willing to include Quanza. What I don't know, and perhaps maybe I've missed this, is what Newcastle's response was to that. So if Liverpool said to them, We're not going to include Jarell Quanza, but we would be open to a conversation around Gordon. I don't know, maybe Newcastle said, no, it has to be this or nothing. So until we know what exactly happened, and it is a little bit up in the air at the minute, because obviously a lot of the journalists and Anthony Gordon that are over at the Euros, so it's kind of unknown territory right now. But I think what we do need to do in this window is get realistic about what we want for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Academy products are great. Bringing players through, signing the likes of those youngsters, putting them in the academy and bringing them through is brilliant. But we need to look to the here and now as well. And for me, we need to be realistic. And any way that we can bring in money to the club, we need to look at. And for me, that involves some uncomfortable conversations. What do you do with Trent, Virgil and Mo? We can't just keep ignoring this and just hoping it goes away. Trent Alexander-Arnold is over there right now, probably already feeling a little bit frustrated because Gareth Southgate is using him as a scapegoat and not really giving him the opportunity to shine on the international stage. He's over there with Bellingham, who's made that leap, left England, went to Germany and is now at Real Madrid. And what scares me about the Trent situation in particular is the success he's had. I know that might sound counterintuitive, but when I look at Trent, I see a local lad. I see a phenomenal young man. But I also see somebody who's won a Premier League, who's won a European Cup, who's won a League Cup, an FA Cup, 2 League Cups, an FA Cup, a Club World Cup and a Super Cup in the Klopp era. So for him, if the opportunity to make a move in his career comes up, there is no bigger opportunity than Real Madrid. We need to be realistic about that as fans. We all assume and hope that Trent stays, but we can't say for certain that he does. So what happens in that scenario if he does decide he'd like a change of scenery? Because I'm still concerned about the expression on Trent's face when Klopp was departing. The lost look in his eyes. Jurgen was a huge influence on Trent's career. And now Trent has the opportunity to go to the biggest club in the world and win consistently for the next 10 years. That has to be appealing. I'm not saying it's the right answer. I want Trent to stay. You want Trent to stay. But what I don't understand, and I can't get my head around, is the strategic play here from Liverpool. What are we doing? How do you let your vice captain get to the last year of his contract when he's 25 years of age? There is no answer that anybody's going to give me that will convince me that that is not poor business and poor judgment from the football club. Virgil and Mo have always said, I can understand their situations because of their age. We'll all have our own opinions on whether we think Virgil and Mo can play for 2 or 3 more years at the top level. That's a different conversation. But right now, what is going on with Trent? And the excuse making continues. So what we'll hear is, when Jurgen said he was leaving, Trent and everybody wanted to see if new coach would come in. Trent wanted to wait and see what happened. That's fine, that buys you a little bit of time. But then when Arne Slot was announced, nothing happened. It's worrying. And I'm genuinely petrified that we lose Trent for next to nothing. And then maybe have to watch Salah leave. So whatever the club are doing and whatever their decision is on their 3 contracts, I hope we get some confirmation of it soon, one way or the other. Because we don't need distractions going into a new campaign. And if Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk or Trent Alexander-Arnold start playing in August with no deal sorted, that's just going to be a headache coming. That's going to be a distraction coming, column inches coming, awkward questions for Arne Slot at every press conference, and it's not going to end well. So I hope that the club are doing something behind the scenes, something big, because this is worrying me. The situation with those contracts are really, really worrying me, because we've seen too many great players leave for free already. I'm going to renew a stat that I've said a few times. Of the last 12 senior players that have left Liverpool Football Club, we've only got a transfer fee for 4. I don't think that's great business. You let Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino, Mohamed Salah potentially leave for a combined 30 million. I find that very hard to swallow. So that's where I'm at. But I want to know how you guys feel about it all. Are you as concerned about this as I am? Because faith is one thing, but sometimes faith is blind and misplaced. We want things to happen. We want Trent to stay. We want Liverpool to spend. We want to think the best of the owners and everybody at the club. But we also have to be realistic in what we're seeing with our eyes. And this situation is really concerning.